I use direct mail and postcard marketing. I have a whole business now that's half internet, half offline. So I actually will use that. I send out a flyer. It's a seasonal business, so every October I send out something via the mail to all my past customers. And I also use Amazon and eBay as lead generation. It's a calendar business, so I sell calendars. So calendars are like selling milk. So if I'm selling a 2020 calendar, I start selling it pretty much in October of 2019, and by January of 2020, even though the calendar goes all the way through 2020, it's basically it's sour milk, because people after January, they don't want to pay full price for a calendar. They're buying them for Christmas presents, or they want to start the new year off with them. So I have a very tight window that I have to sell these things in. It's not like if I print 5,000 books and I don't sell them all right now, it's okay. I'll sell them next year. It's still relevant. Calendars aren't. So that's something that I use direct mail. So I will actually mail all my previous customers. I will actually use Amazon and eBay as a lead magnet where people will buy the calendars there. And I also put them in stores. So I have wholesale accounts that are actually in stores. And every one of those, there's a little bounce back card, says, congratulations, you've won a free calendar. Just submit $6 shipping and handling. And what I do with that is that's a lead gen. So because calendars are like selling milk, if at the end of December, if I've overpurchased this calendar, I got a bunch of extra ones laying around that just aren't quite selling, rather than doing a big sale and discounting them and trying to close them out, I'll use those as a giveaway. So they're like extras. And so the $6 that someone sends in, either via the internet or via a postal service, that covers the cost to ship it out. Basically, it covers my cost of the product. It's kind of a break even, and I have a lead. I do the same thing on Amazon. I do it all over. So that process grows my business by about 20 to 30% every single year. So that's one way that I do the marketing on that. One thing in marketing is people are always looking to try to get new customers. What costs quite a bit more to get a new customer than it does to keep a current customer. And so a lot of people are always focused on I need more and more customers, when sometimes you really shouldn't really be focusing on getting new customers. You should be focused on satisfying the needs of the ones that you have. And so it's much easier to resell a current customer. And like in my calendar example, I've got guys that have been buying for 20 years, every year like clockwork, probably until these guys die. They're going to keep buying. And so that's one method that I like, is combining direct mail with e-commerce. And a lot of people that are younger, they don't understand that. They think direct mail is like the spam of the old days. It's junk mail or whatever, and it doesn't work anymore. Who buys by the mail? You'd be surprised. Especially people ordering on Amazon, they're going to their mailbox. They're expecting packages. They're looking for that. So you might consider that.
It doesn't work in any of my industries, but in all fairness, I haven't tested bulk or lump mail in, I'd say, at least 3.5 years. I can't imagine that anything's changed in the meantime, though. What we do a lot of is, or what I do a lot of is EDDM, which is every door direct mail. And that is going on the United States, in the U.S., going on the United States Postal Service and strategically picking routes that are in certain areas. And you might pay $140 a route. And we use flyers that are the size of a piece of paper, and really tap into the whole scarcity and all the important elements in a marketing campaign on the flyer with colors. And that has worked for us a bit on e-commerce. What's worked better for us is, again, a lot of my e-commerce businesses, I open up traditional brick and mortar stores to complement. And then once I have those stores, I'm able to incorporate things like every door direct mail.
You said strategically picking the districts. Like, what does that entail?
Well, just knowing your demographic. One easy one that almost everyone wants to do is you want to target more affluent areas, or maybe your product is something that will allow people, like maybe someone that's super affluent wouldn't buy this product because it's not seen as a status thing, but other people in a not so affluent neighborhood would want to get this because it solves the problem. And maybe it is a status thing. There's other things like, I guess when you're tapping into demographic, you're also tapping into race. I sold a hair brand in the past, and the hair brand specifically targeted a specific race of people, and it was a high quality hair brand. So it didn't benefit me to target areas that were not a majority of that race. And also any of the brick and mortar stores, you're limited really in people that can actually make it to your store. So you don't want to target anything outside of a 10-mile radius, and that's a stretch. Thank God for e-commerce, but with a brick and mortar store, it's about 10 miles, and the majority of your money is going to be in a 3-mile radius. So I use a lot of every door direct mail that way. That's what I mean by strategically targeting routes.
So what do you mean, like phones or mail or like going into shops? Okay, so it's not my area because I've been internet since I was 15. The first thing I searched for when I was 15, I was like, how do I make money online? I've never had a job. I've just always been online. How do I make money online? Growing businesses, doing everything online. I've always related it to online, so I am the worst person to ask that question. I think there's plenty of marketers and stuff that are a little bit more aged, a little bit older than me, who may have more experience with offline marketing in general, or that's just been their expertise, but I'll leave that one because it's definitely not my area.
My opinion on regular mail offline marketing is that I wouldn't invest in it because most customers don't even want to look at their mail anymore, and they don't like promotional materials.
Physical leaflets.
You know, you had mentioned earlier as far as like the product inserts, that's one method. If I were taking a product, I have not taken a product to retail, but you know, certainly you've got to get in front of buyers and really find out what it is that's in demand by the buyers, not simply just saying, hey, here's my product, you know, take a look at it. It's really getting to understand as far as what they're looking for and then seeing if that's something you can bring to the market. I'm kind of one of the things that I kind of like is taking a bit of a counter approach in that, you know, postcard marketing through the mail used to be really big. And then it died off like it should because it was really expensive. But then there's plenty of people out there now who are reintroducing postcard marketing back to the people who bought their product in order to ask for a review, to engage them into their next product. In other words, they're taking the insert. They've got the insert in the box, but then they're essentially retargeting offline by sending them a postcard that tries to re-engage that shopper to say, hey, you know what, I've got the next new version. I've got something similar. Or do you want to share what you bought with a friend and get them a 50% discount? All these kind of things you can send out, and you rarely see postcards sent out anymore. So when you get one, you stand out and go like, oh man, I remember these. But you notice it. You know, it's kind of like it's the idea of banner blindness on Google, where, you know, the banner advertising was so heavily used that after a while, shoppers stopped engaging with them because they just got blind to even seeing it. And so those kind of fell away. But at some point, you can reintroduce that. You can reintroduce postcards. You can reintroduce any kind of, you know, even radio advertising or, you know, something. It can be very expensive to do so, but you're likely one of the few who are doing it, and so it stands out that much more.
We've also seen individuals automate like postcards. So, you know, there's companies out there that will write a handwritten note for you. And you can automatically grab that address information using a tool like Zapier or one of these others and post that information automatically to this handwritten note company, and they'll actually write a thank you note on your behalf. So that's huge. Obviously, at the end of all those thank you notes, you can ask, you know, hey, do you know anybody else that might like my product as well? You know, I'd love to get in touch.
But if they don't offer any value, so if they're just advertising, just your products on there, the name of your product, what your product can do, it's like, all right, that's just an ad. People will throw it away within a couple of seconds. But again, if you include something that encourages your customers to engage with your product, for example, again, be part of our huge game, post a picture with that leaflet, and get the chance to win your dream vacation in the Caribbean or something. Some people will do it. So if you have like, I would not call it call to action, but like something that encourages people to engage with your firm, with your brand, with your product, then I think it could still work. But I would rather say it's one of the more ineffective ways of doing advertising nowadays, especially if you're an e-commerce business, because everything's online.
If you have a product that every person is going to find relevant, then that perhaps may work. But most people have products that are only a segment of customers are interested in, and you would have to know how to target those customers so that they would actually be interested in what you're selling to them. And I think that could be very challenging.